This case is probably one of the most notorious cases that have rattled the entire country at the time. Netizens were furious online, and random faces of men who people thought were the perpetrators were just everywhere unfiltered, causing another problem in and of itself. This shocking event served as the basis for a number of Korean films and television shows, including Han Gong-ju, 2013, and the Inju gang rape case depicted in the drama series Signal. Without further ado, let's begin our account of the Miryang gang rape case. During the month of June in 2003, a young lady who was only known to the general public by the name Trey, and who was living in the city of Ulsan, which is located in the South Gyeongsang province of South Korea, met a young man with the surname Park through the internet. They carried on chatting for some time, and then in January of 2004, Park invited her over to his place in Miryang. Perhaps she was intrigued by this young man, and she made the decision to meet him there. However, when she arrived at the location that he had lured her into, he hit her on the back of the head with an iron pipe, and she lost consciousness. He was not by himself. He was accompanied by 11 other members of Miryang's youth gang, which was notorious for assaulting and frequently robbing money from other students in the area. The 12 boys dragged the unconscious Tred to a nearby motel after they were all members of Miryang's youth gang. And then, one by one, they began to rape her, which was captured on film by her phone cameras as well as a camcorder. Trey was completely unable to do anything. These boys threatened her by saying that they would post the video of her being abused on the internet. She was unable to tell anyone about what had happened to her, and this continued for the next year after the incident. During this time, she was even raped in public places such as playgrounds and tennis courts, and she was brutally beaten for no reason other than to provide entertainment. According to the police, the young girl was raped up to 10 times by anywhere from 3 to 24 high school boys during each incident, with a total of at least 44 boys being involved over the course of a year. It is known that the young girl was even subjected to sexual torture with a wide variety of objects. The girl was ordered to bring her sister, who was 13 years old, and her cousin, who was 16 years old, to the Miryang, where they were also beaten up. It was later revealed that the perpetrators did upload videos of her being raped online. Why couldn't anyone save this poor girl? Her father was an alcoholic, and he was abusive, which caused her mother to run away from him. Trey herself was unable to seek refuge at home because the one person in the world who should have protected her was the one who beat her up on a daily basis along with the boys. Instead, she took a large quantity of sleeping pills, but she ended up alive in the hospital. The doctor at the hospital became suspicious of the marks and bruises on her body and performed a medical examination on her, which revealed what had happened to her over the course of the previous year. On November 25, 2004, her aunt reported this too. There were at least 5 more girls who were raped by the gang members. The story would have ended here if the perpetrators had served their time in jail and been punished for what they had done, but unfortunately, things got even worse. The rapes provoked widespread outrage, as did the police's handling of the subsequent investigation. Officers reportedly harangued the victims, telling them they'd ruined the city's reputation and leaking identifying information about them to the media. As Trey's identity was exposed, she started getting blackmailed by the perpetrators and their parents. Even when Trey told the police she wanted to be questioned by a female officer, this also was denied. The male officer reportedly asked the victim if she was the one who seduced the boys. The perpetrators and their parents threatened to black. During the investigation, she was even placed in the same room as the boys who had committed the crime, and the police asked each boy, in front of her, if they had put it inside her. How could the police be so insensitive? It is absolutely disgraceful how they treated the victims. Imagine how this young girl might have felt violated and belittled by these people, even her father, despite the fact that she was the victim, and the society should have been able to protect her from bad people she was physically. Trey was later committed to a closed psychiatric ward. Even while she was there, her father visited her along with the perpetrator's parents to force her to agree to a settlement offer of 50 million won. She was even forced to sign a petition asking for leniency in sentencing the case. Her father and close relatives took all of the settlement money, and not a penny was used for her medical care. She was also mentally unstable, and she attempted to take her own life multiple times. What happened to the 44 boys who were involved? Prosecutors sent most of the accused to juvenile court or dropped charges against them. Only 10 of the boys were formally accused for sexual assault, and prosecutors asked for a sentence of 2 to 4 years in prison with a 3-year probation. The judges, citing the young age of the offenders and the fact that some had already been admitted to college or hired for jobs, refused to press charges against even these 10, instead sending them to juvenile court. In addition, 13 of the perpetrators were exonerated of their crimes because the father took settlement money from the parents. In the end, only 5 of the suspects were sent to a juvenile detention center, and none of them were found guilty of any criminal charges. That is how this case concluded. Well, there is a lot to think about. Almost 2 decades have passed since this case occurred, and things have changed quite a bit for the better in Korea. However, a series of high-profile sex crime cases in recent years have been causing public anger over perceived leniency in sentencing, and juvenile crimes are also on the